The Jets hired Nathaniel Hackett, and I think most people are kind of thinking another move is coming with this. Maybe Aaron Rodgers potentially. Now, I know, Drew, you're a Russell Wilson apologist, so you probably think that everything was Nathaniel Hackett's fault. Maybe, I don't know, but what do you think about the Jets hiring your former head coach who got fired in one season?
Well, I can tell you that he was the captain of the worst offense in the league this year and one of the worst offenses in NFL history. The fact that the Broncos were better when Nathaniel Hackett left, at the minimum, put up more points per game. I mean, it's very telling on Nathaniel Hackett. Now, what you guys are going to do is show the graph, and Joel was begging and pleading for Joel to tweet the graph because it made him feel some kind of good way about the move. With the Broncos, they drew up the fourth most plays that receivers were open, and Russell Wilson was historically bad, this, that, and the third. But again, to that point, Russell was better when Nathaniel Hackett left. And again, if you want to use that to have the majority of your confidence and your belief in Nathaniel Hackett, I'm fine with it. But Nathaniel Hackett, with his first opportunity of calling plays and being a head coach, he was miserable. But listen, I'm not a hater. He's on two of my best friends' team right now. He's the offensive coordinator. I'm rooting for him. I want him to have success. But I don't want you guys to sit here and be the delusional the way that I was in the sense of
respect that.
Aaron Rodgers is coming to my team because I got Nathaniel Hackett. I don't want you guys to sit here and say that it's locked because of Nathaniel Hackett, because I went through that, and that did not happen. I did end up with Russell Wilson, who I'm not upset about, no way, no how. I don't care how this season turned out. But I don't want you guys to convince yourself that Aaron Rodgers is coming to town solely for the fact that Nathaniel Hackett's your OC. Nathaniel Hackett has some things to prove, and that is the reason why he decided to take this gig. And that's really what better option did the Jets have at this moment in time. You lose LaFleur, who was candidate to potentially go to the Chargers. We're going to talk about the person who actually did take that offensive coordinator position. But what other option was there out there, really? Nathaniel Hackett going to the Jets was because he needed a spot to prove that he is still a good offensive mind and a good offensive play caller. He's going to have full control of that offense. Is that what Jets fans want? Again, he's going to have to prove that, because what he's shown this past season is that he has led one of the worst offenses that we've seen in recent memory. And again, if you want to place that on Russell Wilson, that's up to you. But I remember we had this conversation that you believe Russell Wilson's going to have a bounce back year. So it can't be both. Yes, he was bad, but at the same time, Nathaniel Hackett leaves, Russ is good again.
You know, I find it funny how
Love that
Drew
line.
doesn't want us to get excited about the prospect of Aaron Rodgers coming to town.
I don't think so. I don't think that's true.
Just said don't get.
You don't want us to get our hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up, because
Listen,
I went through that too.
All offseason long, it was thinking you were going to get Rodgers. We told you weren't, though. You know, that was.
Are you really going to do this to me? You're really going to do this
Russell
to me?
Wilson, you know,
what the fuck is wrong
you got
with
the worst
you?
quarterback. It's fine. This is happening, Drew. This is actually happening.
Hope you're right.
It's happening.
Hope you're right.
The Jets are getting Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Nathaniel Hackett is the first piece of that puzzle.
All right.
And
the quarterback.
you know, sometimes if you ever played a puzzle,
I don't know if it's happening.
you have to fit the pieces perfectly when you're building a puzzle.
So what happens when you get Derek Carr?
I like it. Derek Carr's still good. I like it. When you're building a puzzle, you got to get the pieces right. Russell
guys
Wilson
really are sounding like me.
Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett, those weren't the puzzles that connected. Those weren't the pieces that connected. It just didn't work. And Russell Wilson was bad because he's not a fit for Nathaniel Hackett's scheme. Russell Wilson has played a certain way his entire career that masked a lot of these deficiencies. Not saying he wasn't great, but he was a great deep ball thrower. He held on to the ball very long. He was great on rollout passes. Nathaniel Hackett, when I look at his track record, he's worked with some bad quarterbacks. E.J. Manuel, Blake Bortles in Jacksonville. Although 1 year in Jacksonville with Blake Bortles, he was 6th in yards and 5th in points in 2017. And then he worked with another bad quarterback in Russell Wilson in 2022. He had a horrible season. I blame that mostly on Russ.
Casual.
Russ is not a quick passing or rhythm quarterback. That's not what he operates on. He holds on to the ball, he waits for deep shots, and he doesn't throw to the middle of the field. How hard is it for a coordinator to design an offense around a player that doesn't throw to an entire part of the field.
God forbid he adjusted.
Why couldn't Russ adjust?
Because you're the head coach. You cater to your franchise player.
But that's his scheme, though. That's the thing is that the Broncos made the mistake. The Broncos made the mistake of bringing in Hackett as their head coach, the leader of their football team, on the prospect Rodgers was coming. He's just our OC, and all the stars are aligning for Aaron Rodgers to come to New York. Look at this.
All right, here we go.
Adam Schefter, Packers are only trading him to the AFC. Where do the Jets play?
AFC.
Oh, shit, here we go.
Peter King said the price is 2 first-round picks. What did the Jets say?
They'll pay it.
Happily. It's like they happily pay it. It's a Happy Meal. They happily gonna pay that. 2 first-rounders is nothing. The Jets are gonna pay that for Aaron Rodgers. And what did Aaron Rodgers say on the Pat McAfee show? Do you remember what he said?
He was hyping up Breeze, Garrett Wilson, Zach.
You know what else he said? I'll rework my deal. Round of applause for Aaron Rodgers. My goodness. Round of a freaking applause for Aaron Rodgers.
Why we give round of applause?
After the Super Chats, the Rodgers.
Sure,
Nathaniel Hackett could be getting paid for the next 4 years because he has guarantees on his deal. Instead, he chose to go to a team in the Jets who it's an unstable situation unless they know something we don't. They know they're this close to getting one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Brett Favre came to the Jets in 2008. Aaron Rodgers will come to the Jets in 2023. And we're going to have a shot to win big time. Big time. Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets. I just want you to get prepared for that.
I hope.
You wanted him. We actually got him. We're going to get him. I promise you we're getting Aaron Rodgers.
I just want everyone.
Look 2020.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
I just want everyone to notice
Fuck your shit.
how. Now this guy.
He's a Jets fan. He has to.
I'm not.
I just want everyone to
I'm getting
understand
excited.
that I want Aaron Rodgers to go to the New
I'm
York
sorry.
Jets. No,
I
don't
didn't mean
fucking
it.
touch
I
me.
didn't mean it in a
Don't touch
disrespectful
me.
way.
Don't touch me.
Getting me
Respect his
excited.
amendments. Don't touch him.
It's not amendments.
Freedom of speech.
Because then this guy goes and throws in my face.
That was
You
rude.
thought you were
That was
going to
rude.
get him.
That was rude.
We're actually going to get
I
him.
apologize for my friend. I apologize for my friend.
Go ahead, Joel.
How do you feel?
You're going to respect Hackett after this year,
Lick
buddy.
me.
You're going to respect Hackett.
That's hot.
Respect
I want to be
Hackett.
part of that.
This is interesting. You are you're kind of the medium of Jets fans. What do you think?
Yes.
He knows we're getting him, too.
I feel weird because this whole season I feel like I've been the positive Jets guy. Joel has been more of the negative guy because Zach Wilson hadn't worked out. And this
you're
was
the realistic one.
Maybe that's a better word. When this news broke, I was with my girl. We were in bed. We were actually cuddling, watching TikToks together. And she's a sports fan, so she has the ESPN notifications on. So we're watching TikToks, and I see ESPN
Goodness,
breaking news: Jets hire Nathaniel Hackett. And I think I tell her, I said, "This is
It's not going to work out.
This is one of the
tonight,
worst 5 days of 2023. It's only
Maybe tomorrow.
January." And the first thing I thought about was Adam Gase. And I understand people say it's an overreaction. He was your head coach. Hackett was the OC. But my logic behind it was Adam Gase should have not gotten another opportunity to be a head coach. Jets fans had to convince themselves Adam Gase would be the right guy. They had to convince themselves, oh, he turned Ryan Tannehill into this average to above average quarterback. I think they made the playoffs one year. He's an offensive mind. He could work with Sam Darnold. And we're kind of doing this all over again with Nathaniel Hackett. We're saying, you know what? He didn't work out as the head coach in Denver, but look at his track record. I mean, he made Blake Bortles work for a season, and he was great with the Packers, although all they really did was red zone work, and we know how terrible the red zone was for the Broncos this season, which is supposed to be Hackett's, specialty.
Russ missed an open guy in the red zone versus the Colts Thursday Night Football.
Russ missed.
How many drop passes did we have opening night? How many?
I'm just saying.
I don't want to turn this into a
Good plays by
Broncos.
Hackett, right?
21 weeks ago.
I don't want to turn this into a Broncos.
Right.
21 weeks ago.
we were
I
talking
don't want to turn
about
this into a Broncos.
I didn't even
Jets
mention the
debate.
stat. Dehls mentioned the stat.
What?
Please.
The
I
open-
mentioned it
open
already.
play
I mentioned it
percentage,
already.
They were
perfectly-
fourth
Congrats.
behind the Chiefs, Lions, and Niners. 3 of the best offensive
that-
play callers in the league.
That one stat looks great. at the end of the day, this all comes down to who's the quarterback. If we get Aaron Rodgers, everything I say, throw it out the window because Aaron Rodgers is going to mask just about anything. He's a phenomenal quarterback. He's elite. If we don't, that's where it gets a little bit scary. I think you bring in Derek Carr, but the issue is the timing of all of this is messed up. Derek Carr, you have to make a decision on potentially within the next 2 weeks. Potentially by the Super Bowl, Derek Carr gets moved, gets cut, so you're going to have to make a decision. And Aaron Rodgers, his contract is work that anytime between the start of the new year and the day before week 1, they could work on the caps. They could work on his contract. So really, anytime between Super Bowl and fucking August, Aaron Rodgers could get traded. So the timing of this is a little difficult for the Jets because you could either say we're going to go for Rodgers, you'll miss out on Derek Carr. There's a chance to even miss out on option C or D, which is Jimmy Garoppolo. If you get Derek Carr, obviously, I feel better than last season because you're going to have a competent quarterback. But yes, the upside feels limited with Derek Carr than if you have Aaron Rodgers, who we know is one of the best quarterback talents of all time. But this all goes back to firing Mike LaFleur. And it goes back to Woody Johnson meddling, making this decision for the Jets. There was a report that came out, The Athletic, Zach Rosenblatt, who does a great job covering the Jets, wrote an article at the end of the season basically saying that the day Robert Saleh fired Mike LaFleur, he canceled all meetings with coaches and players. He was supposed to have exit interviews with all of these guys. He canceled all of them. He didn't want to fire his best friend. He didn't want to fire Mike LaFleur after the quarterback carousel he went through. He knew he wasn't the main problem why this Jets offense was the way it was. And look, he ends up with the Rams, with Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds in the game. Sean McVay knows that he has something there. So it goes back to this. You fire Mike LaFleur and all of the great options out there. Why would you want to go to the Jets? Why would you want to go to a team that doesn't have a quarterback? A team that this entire coaching staff could be gone in one season. So the Jets interviewed 20 plus guys for this position. Maybe 5 of them would have taken the job. And Robert Saleh said in his press conference, we discussed quarterbacks, not specifics, even though I'm sure they spoke specifically about Rodgers, even though he can't say it publicly, about getting a veteran quarterback. And that's the route they're going to do with Zach Wilson still in mind. So if you go out and get Aaron Rodgers, okay, it's fine. It's Hackett, whatever. Aaron Rodgers is fucking great. I think he makes it work no matter what. But as a Jets fan, I'm calling it a 50-50 shot right now. I do think if he gets traded, it is to the AFC like they mentioned, but there's some teams in the AFC, like I know the Raiders are one that have been talking about it, the Titans, the Jets. So although Aaron Rodgers does seem to really like Zach Wilson, and he talked highly on the Pat McAfee show about Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, so there's obviously some connections there. But I am not as confident as Joel seen we're getting him because like Drew said, Drew thought the same thing last year. We're going to get Aaron Rodgers. He's going to come, and he didn't. Now, I agree
We're a better organization
to an extent, but you're swinging for the fences here and to an extent because Nathaniel Hackett could blow up in our face, right? It's like if I told you this time next year, if I told you the Jets were 24th in offense, would you be shocked?
Who's their quarterback?
We don't know. We just know Nathaniel Hackett's the offensive coordinator.
Dehls, I want you to calm down with your pessimism, okay? Because it's rubbing off on me a bit, and I don't like that. Robert Saleh, it is likely he didn't want to fire Mike LaFleur. Why is that? Is it because he's a great offensive mind, or is it because that's his best friend? Like that is the younger brother of one of his closest friends. They have spent so much time and they have so much memories together. That's going to be difficult.
Gang.
That is gang. That's going to be.
Would you rather
hard.
have LaFleur or Hackett as your OC?
Hackett. I'd rather have Hackett.
You agree with that?
And when you talk about Sean McVay,
it's not gonna be fair.
When you talk about Sean McVay picking up Mike LaFleur, well, is that because Mike LaFleur is this great offensive mind, or is it because these coaching trees tend to stick together?
Not the offensive coordinator position. This isn't an assistant quarterback coach.
Matt LaFleur,
yes,
Sean McVay, Kyle
yes,
Shanahan all
yes.
work together in Washington. This is a tight-knit group. They all know each other. They all like each other.
Offensive coordinator.
Who calls the plays?
Sean McVay,
Who
of
calls
course,
It's Sean McVay.
But
and
offensive coordinator.
He's the offensive coordinator. Yes, he is. What would you be shocked if I told you the Rams had a bottom 20 or fifth or an average offense next year?
I mean, if they have Stafford and healthy, I'd be very surprised.
Given their offensive line situation, given what they have to do to retool that roster, it's not shocking. It is not. So let's not act like the Rams got this home run thing with Mike LaFleur. He could blow up in their face. He could. I like Nathaniel Hackett for the Jets in this position. I think he is a better offensive play caller
really
than Mike
with the
LaFleur.
Rams? I mean, it's all Sean McVay's responsibility.
And I love Hackett's personality. As a head coach, I don't, but as an OC, bringing light to the room, he's kind of like it's kind of like bubblegum, you know? Kind of like bubblegum.
Please explain how.
Bubblegum is
Just
nasty.
fruity. He's like a really great guy. He's just out. I don't know.
And the reason why I said I can't compare LaFleur to Hackett is because if Hackett has literally anybody starting, it's gonna be better than Zach Wilson.
Correct.
Hackett was good enough in his position to be a head coach for the Denver Broncos.
No.
A great organization, like Drew said, right? They don't make dumb decisions.
I mean, we have
at least that
we have
often.
3
How
Super
did that?
Bowls.
How did that work out?
It didn't work out well because Russell Wilson was garbage.
Maybe.
What about Hackett's clock managing? Like he
The
He
Jets
doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, the Jets have guys.
Yeah, no,
guys
I
that-
think like last year you have to completely throw it out.
I don't think
out the
his
window.
play calling was the issue in Denver
No,
last
it was the
year.
other stuff.
It was everything else,
And
and,
I
he doesn't have to do that stuff with the Jets.
Wasn't
No,
that
you're right.
bad.
In tandem, yeah.
16 touchdowns.
I mean, you have
Silver
to
lining.
hiring Hacker. You have to throw
Daniel
everything out
Jones
the window
numbers.
last year.
Yeah, listen,
You have
I
to throw
think
it
he'll
out.
be
He will.
fine. And
Exactly.
also, I didn't even say this, but who's the Jets' all-time best quarterback?
Namath.
What
Pennington?
number did he wear?
12.
What did he say,
He
Dehls?
said Aaron Rodgers could have number 12. He
That
comes to
does
New
not
York.
move anybody.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna be a Jet. Come on, let's watch.
John,
It's
John,
gonna
what do you
happen.
is Aaron Rodgers going to be a Jack? I need some confidence here. Where's his mic?
He doesn't have a mic
He
today.
didn't-
Oh, no mic today. John said
And
50-50.
what did the
He could-
Packers? There was a recent article that came out that Adam Schefter put out, one of the most reputable NFL guys.
The most.
What did he say? The Packers are leaning towards moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Come on, buddy. Put two and two. Put the context tools together. It's not that hard.
I don't disagree that Rodgers gets moved. I just think Rodgers going to go. He doesn't have a no trade clause, so it's not like he could pick. But they love Aaron Rodgers. He's a franchise quarterback. He's been the face of their franchise the last 15 years. He's going to go into that room. They're going to say, we're trading to the AFC. Do you want to go to the Jets, Raiders, or Titans? That's when I worry because even though I think the Jets have the best situation,
Think about the Raiders?
I think the Jets have the best. I think the
Jets.
Titans with Vrabel.
Really?
With the, yeah,
No
I-
receivers.
I know
they don't have
could get,
anybody.
They could get some
Not the
guys.
Raiders?
They could get some
maybe
guys.
the
How?
Raiders with Tay. They have
Waller.
picks.
What?
Josh Jacobs.
They can get some
Joel,
guys.
But Joel, the
Raiders
issue
have guys.
Joel, I don't think the issue is because when you look at just pure talent and
They got
rosters,
Traylon Burks. How did that work?
he was hurt. He was hurt. He
No,
was
Oh,
playing
Traylon
well.
Burks is solid.
He was
Stop
playing,
it.
He was
He's not
playing
Garrett
well.
Wilson.
He's
He's not Garrett Wilson.
was playing-
Garrett Wilson
He's
was
not
selected
Garrett
over
Wilson.
him for a reason.
He's not Chris Olave.
I mean, I tried to tell you about Olave. It's a shame.
I worry about
the road-
still
the road-
the outside perception of the Jets. This is a Jets team that choked at the end of the season, lost 6 in a row. The owner's coming in making comments. He's firing the offensive coordinator. Rodgers knows if it goes up in flames, everyone's fired. So I just think from an outsider's perspective, even though Aaron Rodgers obviously has ties everywhere, I don't think the Jets are as respected as we think at this table should be
I
as
don't
a
think they're
roster and as a
respected at
team.
all.
Exactly. That's why I think when they have that conversation, Aaron Rodgers is going to say, well, I have the Titans, Raiders, and Jets. I could go with Tay. I could go with Vrabel. Or I could go
Why
with
would you
Saleh.
go with the Raiders if you're
He has
worried
Tay
about?
there. He has offense.
If you're worried about perception in an organizational standpoint,
You're not wrong.
Why do you
that's,
go to the
That's
Raiders?
fair, but you
Well,
also
look,
have Tay
And the
there.
Titans
Rodgers-
don't have the talent that Rodgers wants.
Rodgers has never cared about perception.